Hi, good evening. Steve Adler. Got a minute? All right, let's go through some numbers here. We're going to go through the regular dashboards. We're going to go through the weekly numbers from Dr. Escott. And then probably remind everybody to sign up on the census. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Let's pull up the first one of the regular dashboards. Look at admissions. We were down below. We were 9 single digits. We're up to 17. 14 is the 7-day average. We had gotten down to 12, slowly working our way up to 14. That's a concern. I mean, it's relatively flat, but I'm concerned. We're not out of the woods yet, and we're opening up schools today. We have more kids in classrooms. The governor indicates that tomorrow he may be opening up bars, and I'm concerned. The thing we know that works is masking and distancing. And as people start interacting more and more, we're going to potentially see that unless we do even better on masking and distancing. That's a concern. Remember when we were at this place and before, when we had that last spike, and it took us 3 weeks to get to a place where we were looking at real serious conditions in our ICUs. And I don't want to, cry on wolf or anything, but we just have yet to pull that number down. Please make it part of the conversation. Please make sure that you don't slack off. Please make sure that you're insisting for your own personal behaviors that you do this and that the people around you do it as well. Number of new cases is 95. That is also above our 7-day moving average. Frequently, Tuesdays are a higher number. Mondays a deflated number. So, can't really be sure about what we're seeing. But let's go ahead and take a look at the next dashboard to see how close we are. Hospitalizations, ICUs, and ventilators with respect to the 7-day moving average. You can see 85 people in our hospitals tonight. The 7-day moving average is 79. So we're substantially above what is the 7-day moving average. We're going to have to continue to watch that. We have new cases and they start spreading outside of the age group young. That's when we would start seeing the hospitalizations. ICU tonight, 27. Our 7-day running average, 25. So again, ICUs above the 7-day running average. Ventilators at 16. The 7-day moving average, 14. So each one of those indicators are higher than the 7-day moving average. One day does not a story make, and that number's been kind of bouncing back and forth, but you see the concern that we have to continue to watch. The number of new cases, the 95, gets us up to 29,952. I would anticipate that tomorrow we'll crest 30,000 cases here in our area, Austin, Travis County. 30,000 people having gotten the virus. Not there yet, probably tomorrow. Number of people that have passed away, 434. That's an increase of 4 over yesterday. So 4 families that are tonight grieving the passing of a family member. All right, let's go ahead and look at some of Dr. Escott's charts that we can look at. We look at these kind of charts probably about once a week. The first one is hospitalizations. Here it shows you the graph over time. We used to look at this a lot. You can see the spikes we had this summer in the middle. The yellow line is the 7-day moving average. The blue bar chart is what it was on any given day. You can see that the number, generally speaking, heading down, but fairly flat at this point. Been fairly flat since September 4th, which is when that trough is to the left. All right, let's go ahead and look then at the next chart that we have. This is a chart that shows you hospitalizations by race and ethnicity. You could take me out of this, Janine, so that the chart itself is a little bit larger for people to see. That's good. You can see this shows you by week. So this is the count of weekly hospitalizations by race and ethnicity. All the way to the right is the week from September 28th to October 4th. The green is Hispanic of all races. You can see the number of hospitalizations by week generally going down. We were at 93 at that point, September going into October. The week before, 105. The week before that, 110. You can see the numbers with respect to different races. 49 of the 93 people, Hispanic. That's over half. That's the concern with the disproportionality among the Hispanic Latino community. The absolute number is down. It's 49 as compared to 50 in the week from September 21st to 27. But as a percentage of the total cases, it is way too high. The blue area is white non-Hispanic. It is in the last week 34 out of the 93. Before that, the week before, the number was 40. So it's gone down by 6 in absolute terms. But of course, the number went up to 105. You can see, generally speaking, since the end of August, the number of cases on a weekly basis, number of hospitalizations on a weekly basis has been going down. Let's take a look at the next chart. The next chart is the count of weekly hospitalizations by age group. The age group, you can see down at the bottom of the chart, that yellow area that you see is folks 20 to 29. The blue just above that are folks 30 to 39. So the yellow and the blue together add up to make up the folks 20 to 29, and you can see that the number is, I think it's like 12 and I think like 17 or 39 people total of the 99, and that's the percentage of the younger population. You can see the spread. You can see what it's been over time. Again, the number of hospitalizations has been going down over recent weeks. The number of younger people getting it, the green area, top of that is the next age group, 40 to 49. That was much higher 5 weeks ago, just when schools were really getting back, August to into September. But again, it's been relatively flat. That's where we are, in kind of a relatively flat world. Let's take a look at the next number. This is percent positivity, and this is the better news for us. You can see what the positivity is over a week. The last week that's being reported here is week 39. That was actually a week and a half ago, and the number now is at 3.8. In the last 4 measured weeks, that's week 36 through week 39, it went from 6.3 to 5.4 to 4.3 to 3.8, which is at where it's at right now. There are other states that are maintaining more lockdown conditions than we are in Texas if their positivity rate goes above 3. Here, Dr. Escott has said, let's shoot for 5 and try and stay below that. But just so that you know, there are other states that are taking greater precautions when they jump above 3%. And you can see our overall population is at 3.8. But let's take a little bit deeper dive to see who those people are with respect to positivity. And this shows you positivity by week. This has an additional week. So to the right on this chart is week 40. You didn't see that on that one that was just all green. But you can see weeks 37 to the left, week 40 to the right. You can see that the infectivity, the positivity rate among Hispanics, which is the gray line, has been going down. It was about 9%, down to 8%, down to 7.25%, and now to just above 6%. So that's certainly moving in the right direction. The rest of the population being, the positivity rate generally coming down from weeks 37 to the left, but 38, 39, and 40. Other than the Asian community, which is a really small number, that's the blue line to the left. The other numbers staying relatively flat at a number that is 3% or less for the general community. Hispanic moving in the right direction, but still a disproportionate number. Okay, and then I think we have one last chart to show you. This again is positivity. This is by age group. And you can see that yellow area, which is the 10 to 19, positivity rate was between 15 and 20% in week 36 to the left. And that number now is just above 5%. The rest of the numbers coming down, but coming down more slowly. Again, relatively flat. Looking at the age group 10 to 19 and 30 to 39, which is the gray line. The black line is 30 to 39. The gray line is 20 to 29. All right, I'm concerned about us being flat, but better to being flat than going up. And that's really what we're watching and guarding against. The governor has indicated that he's probably going to do something about bars. Wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't hold a press conference as early as tomorrow to do that. I'm concerned about that because we see in cities across the world when bars open, that's oftentimes tied to spikes. We saw that in Texas back in May when bars opened. We can't tie it just to bars. During that period of time, people were not wearing masks. We didn't have the discipline that we have now, and there are other factors like Labor Day that could be present. But when you look around the world, bars frequently are associated with upticks. London, for example, in the UK, they love their pubs. Their political pressures there are real strong to open up the pubs. They did that because their numbers were so low. And we see here in the last week, the United Kingdom has started now to put in greater restrictions on bars. I don't know exactly why that is. We don't know. It could be that in bars, people drink, they lose some inhibitions, and then they're not as vigilant and diligent about wearing masks or social distancing. Could be that in bars or some bars, unlike a restaurant where people are sitting at the table with several other people, in a bar people might be milling around and talking to one another. So rather than being with 3 people, you are suddenly with 15 people, and those 15 people have been milling around and they've been with 15 people. It could be that. But in any event, I hope that if the governor comes out and allows for bar usage tomorrow, he puts some parameters on it. If you're going to go to a bar, you should sit down at a table too, just like in a restaurant, so that you're sitting while you're eating and drinking, that you have to put on the mask when you get up from the table to leave or walk to the table to sit down or get up to order a drink at the bar or to go to the bathroom. But otherwise, you're sitting at the table eating and drinking. That if you go up to the bar, I hope the governor puts in parameters that says people in the line waiting at the bar to get an order a drink are 6 feet apart so that people are not bunching up at the bar. Certainly no dancing. For right now, if you need to dance, do it with your household at home. I hope those are the kinds of things that the governor brings into play if he's going to increase risk by opening up bars, so that we have the best shot at being able to make something like this work. And I think that's the hope that what the governor does. I don't know. We'll see tomorrow. All right, I'm going to conclude by talking about early voting, which starts in 1 week. It's going to start on October 13th. So everybody should be thinking right now about what their plan is. I urge everybody to think about Election Day, November 3rd, not as the day to vote, but as the last day to vote. And only vote on November 3rd if you haven't been able to vote before then. Early voting starts on the 13th. Mail-in voting is happening right now. People are already casting votes here in Austin, Travis County, and in Texas. But start making plans for when you go vote. It's safe to vote. They've set up structures to keep people distant and prevent the virus from passing. You have to wear your mask. If you got an absentee or a ballot, and you want to vote in person, take that ballot with you because you're going to have to hand it in order to be able to vote in person. There is no straight ticket voting this year, so make sure that when you go vote, you know exactly who it is that you're going to vote for. You're allowed to take a sample ballot in with you as you go vote. And if you want to look and see what a sample ballot looks like, you can go to vote411.org. That's vote411.org. or you can go to votetravis.gov, or you can go to votetexas.gov, votetexas.gov, and I think it's votetravis.gov as well. There are sample ballots there for you to take a look at. Make sure that you wear your mask and that you go vote. Last thing I would mention is the census. Did not end last week as we were afraid that it might. Looks like it's extended through the end of October, which we would hope, until the courts start changing things all over again. But there it is, my2020census.gov. If you know of anybody who hasn't done that, please get them to do it. It takes 10 minutes to do. Getting it to people that might not be seeing this broadcast or easily being reached are the people that we really are reaching out to now to make sure we get every dollar that's available to us. Conclude with, get your voting plan set. I know the governor acted to remove some of the drop-off locations here in Travis County, which I don't understand. No established security risk. But no matter how hard anyone tries to make it to vote, no matter how long the lines are, this is an election where we all have to vote. And we have to vote in such great numbers that there can be no mistake. With that, you all have a good night. Take care of yourselves and be safe.